force entrapment charge after arrest of 110. 110 people got arrested in Costilla County in 1989. This is written by Ward Marchant, April 16th, 1989, Associated Press. The LA Times is the one that published this, LATimes.com. Excessive force entrapment charged after arrest of 110. Guerrilla poaching raid raises hackles in Colorado. San Luis, Colorado. Living off the land has always been a way of life for generations in Costilla County, the most impoverished in Colorado. Here jobs are scarce, pay is low, and the San Luis Valley teems with game. This is the exact same article that I just read, so I'm actually going to go back and then find a different article. But I want to make a quick comment about poaching. Here's why poaching is bullshit. You want to sit there and say that we've been Native Americans doing our Native American thing? The Native Americans didn't just kill for fun. They didn't just murder all the buffalo and steal the hides and then sell it off. They would hunt, and if they killed the buffalo, they would thank the Great Spirit, and then they would use every single part of that buffalo. They just took a life. So the Native American way, the Hopi way, you know, the way of peace, is not the way of the poachers. The poachers, that's the way of the conquistadors. That's the way of the fucking psychos. And then they're going to act like it was a crazy raid and there was airplanes and, you know, it was a major raid that, you know, the feds and the state, both Roy Romer and Ronald Reagan were a part of this. So you have this major raid that happened in Costilla County, and people are acting like they're afraid, but when you poach, you got a spotlight and then you got a high-powered rifle, right? You're spotlighting some poor innocent bunny rabbit, some poor innocent little bunny rabbit, and you got your AK-47, right? You spotlight, you see a little innocent jackrabbit, and then boom. So it's a turkey shoot, right? It's just shooting fish in the barrel. It's, my God, just fucking hopscotch. It's tic-tac-toe. It's, you know, can you walk and chew gum at the same time? There is no goddamn talent whatsoever. There is no talent to spotlighting the shit out of a poor innocent bunny and then, you know, shredding the shit out of it with the goddamn assault rifle. So you're telling me motherfuckers with trucks and snipers and assault rifles are driving all over the goddamn place and what? One motherfucker is just supposed to say, excuse me, sir. Jesus Christ, the police won't even, you know. Anyways, this major poaching criminal operation, I do not feel bad about any of the people that got arrested. Everybody that got arrested for poaching, fuck you. You're against the Native American way of life. You're against, for about, what, 10,000, 11,000 years, you had Native Americans here. They were nomads. You used to have all the buffalo in the world. What happened to all the buffalo? We had fucking poachers, motherfucking poachers. And they were not, you know, when it comes to what's okay and what's not okay, I think if, you know, you want to shoot an animal for food, if you want to eat it for your own family, to sustain yourself, to survive on, if you're living off the land and that's literally what you're doing, you're living off the land. You're not selling the fucking antlers. You're not, you know, doing all this underground criminal shit. You're not going to, you know, go along with the coyote criminal motherfuckers. So if you're not killing rabbits and elk and antelope and deer for food, for your own family, for sustenance to survive on, you're just a coyote criminal motherfucker in the underground criminal world, going around with high-powered rifles, sniping innocent rabbits and shit in the middle of the night just to sell their rabbits' feet for, you know, sick motherfuckers who want to trade in this shit. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Shoot an animal, and, you know, if you're starving and you're hungry, but just shooting all the fucking animals, yeah, that's some bullshit. That reminds me of Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner and, what's that one movie? But he's, you know, Tatanka. So let's go to CPR in the San Luis Valley. Poaching arrest of 57 draw fire, Lakewood, Colorado. Let's read this article, TulsaWorld.com. March 8th, 1989. It was updated, actually. Oh, I got to complete the thing. Poaching arrest, 57 draw fire. The survey, how many questions are this going to be? To protect national security, yeah, pretty good. Good, okay. We're in Lakewood, Colorado, AP. Pre-dawn arrest of 57 people on poaching charges came under sharp attack, with one official saying residents of the economically depressed San Luis were entrapped by the lure of fast money. They were entrapped! State and federal warrants cited more than 850 alleged wildlife violations involving bear. So you motherfuckers are killing bear, bobcats, elk, deer, bald, and golden eagles. Oh, these are great Americans here killing a bunch of bald motherfucking eagles. Did these bears, bobcats, elk, deer, bald, or golden eagles, did they attack any humans or anything, or is this just a bunch of goddamn, you know, big game hunters just shooting, you know, innocent animals for fucking sport? I like Colorado because we got wildlife laws. You protect the wildlife, we protect the animals in Colorado. And I like that. State and federal warrants cited more than 850 alleged wildlife violations involving bear, bobcat, elk, deer, and bald, and golden eagles, among other animals. About 275 game officials, aided by aircraft, made the arrest early Monday in the Valley and Taos, New Mexico areas. Colorado Governor Roy Romer and Ronald Reagan, or wait, no, it's Papa Bush, right, 1989, March. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was Papa Bush, my bad, not Reagan, it was the Republicans. So, I think Roy Romer was a Republican too. So Roy Romer said he had been told in advance about the raid, but he was unsure of the planned tactics, which triggered at least 30 complaints from people who said they were unnecessarily harassed. You know, the fact that, this is such, you know, it's crazy that, oh my gosh, whatever. Oh my gosh, I was a little bit scared. So we're gonna give a shit about that. You got motherfuckers just killing a bunch of innocent motherfuckers with high-powered rifles and fucking trucks and shit. And then one of your motherfuckers got arrested, and now you guys are acting like they did something wrong? Shut the fuck up. You motherfuckers let the poaching go on and on and on. And then I heard that it was worse, and that the public officials were a part of this shit, and they were sitting there doing, like, paying motherfuckers to come out here and then have this big, you know, poaching fucking operation. So some rich motherfuckers, right, just like in Africa, they go on those big game hunts or what have you. So rich motherfuckers, right, come spend some money here, and then they, you know, the local criminal motherfuckers show the ropes about how, you know, here we're going to poach right here, and then they get to allow some rich motherfuckers to kill some innocent motherfuckers. And then all the public officials are going to be behind all this shit just so you can make a fucking, not just $1, lots of dollars. And then, you know, while they were doing this poaching operation, how many motherfuckers said, oh, we got pieces of shit driving out here with fucking guns in the middle of the night and nobody did shit? How many fucking times did the good, peaceful, law-abiding citizens of Costilla County sit there and complain about how you had this illegal poaching shit which was harassing their lives? So you gotta go around shooting innocent people. What happens if you know, shine the light at, there's been about 8 arsons around here. You think them poaching motherfuckers might, you know, while they was out and about spotlighting and shooting innocent animals, went ahead and stole some people's shit and then burnt their houses down? I don't think that's too far of a stretch to think that criminal motherfuckers who engage in, this is a major operation, when they engaged in major fucking criminal operations, wouldn't commit other crimes. I do not criticize the fact the best actually indication of a person's future behavior is their past behavior. I do not criticize the fact that we have to enforce the law, and I do not want to make judgments about how it was done. I simply know that there was trauma. This is Roy Romer being a politician. I simply know that there was trauma that resulted from it, and I'm sorry. Motherfuckers, you got high-powered rifle, AK assault rifle motherfuckers killing a bunch of innocent little bunny rabbits. If Costilla County Sheriff Pete Espinoza would have, you know, actually stopped this shit beforehand, then you wouldn't have needed any state officials or federal officials. Why did Pete Espinoza allow this shit to get out of hand? He's the sheriff, and they're like, oh, they didn't tell, because you know, there was like officials and shit that was involved with it. Why didn't Pete Espinoza stop that shit? He said that wildlife agents kicked in doors, dragged people outside in their underwear at gunpoint, and improperly stopped and searched people. People were crying. Babies were crying, he said. They, the wildlife officers, just did not care. Galen Butterball, Regional Director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in Denver, denied Espinosa's charges and said the sheriff and others were worried about retaliation. Espinosa said he and his family had been threatened by people who assumed he was involved in the operation. He said he sent 2 of his children out of town and a 3rd child was wearing a bulletproof vest. His house was burned down 2 years ago after he angered some residents by breaking up a disturbance at a party. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He could have stopped it, but maybe he was scared, right? His fucking house got burnt down. His house got burnt down. So that means the criminal motherfuckers had already been targeting him, and they did it 2 years before all this shit happened. So you had a criminal operation going around saying, no, this is what we do, this poaching shit. You know, murdering innocent little bunny rabbits and, you know, taking their teeth and wearing them for necklaces and shit just for a fucking, not because we're hungry or starving and we need to live, but just for the fuck of it. Just for the fuck of it. And then it said that he angered some residents by breaking up a disturbance at a party. So the sheriff was doing his police duties, and then he got intimidated. He got intimidated, his house was burned, and then some motherfuckers started shaking him down. So I can understand why he was a little bit nervous about this shit, but, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll just assume he was incompetent and not a part of the operations. And, you know, well, but he was up against a lot of shit. He was up against a lot of shit. So I can understand why he didn't arrest all those people, but it seems crazy that he's going to sit there and complain that once they did his job, the state and the feds did his job, then he's going to jump in. His house was burned down 2 years ago, so that's terrible. You got Espinosa, who's actually part of the county commissioners today. Butterball said that so many agents were needed to make the arrest because the suspects had threatened federal office officials. The investigation targeted commercial poachers who illegally hunt and sell game and use an undercover agent who posed as a taxidermist. First in Fort Garland, 175 miles south of Denver, and later in Costilla, New Mexico. Oh my God, that's fucking perfect. So some taxidermist come in saying he was going to buy all this fucking stuff, and these motherfuckers jumped at the bit. They nipped at the bit. They took the fucking bait. And the motherfuckers, all he did was provide an opportunity, right? Here's a business. You go out there and you do your poaching. And, I'm a taxidermist, right? So I want all this. So you go do your poaching and we'll go ahead and give you money. And he found out every single one of these motherfucking poachers. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Officials said that up to 100 could be arrested. What they said, 50-something were arrested. I think 110 ultimately were arrested or charged with 850 violations. 100 could be arrested before the 2.5-year investigation ends. Butterball said the undercover agent did not encourage poaching, but paid less than the going rate. So they didn't even, Jesus Christ. Y'all don't know how to be, anyways. The area was targeted because the agent happened to be there and because there were reports of a huge market in illegally obtained wildlife. Butterball said, we always work to make sure we do not create a market for illegal wildlife. He said the market there was very large. The operation was well performed in a highly professional and highly workmanlike fashion. U.S. Attorney Mike Norton said at a news conference in Lakewood where wildlife officials displayed dozens of illegal trophies and carcasses that had been confiscated. But the sheriff said the agent, known in San Luis as John Morgan, was known to hang out in bars and place orders with poachers. He said that encouraged poaching and it entrapped the residents. The San Luis Valley chronically posts 20% unemployment. 1 out of every 3 people is on government aid. For that part of the county that is unemployed, $500 or $600 sounds real good to them. They're going to go for it, Espinosa said. Officials would not say how much the agent paid for the carcasses. Why did they bring 250 people with helicopters and guns and everything else? Espinosa asked. We're not animals. We're human beings. I didn't know what they were expecting. A war or something? This isn't Nicaragua. San Luis Town Trustee Augustine Jaramillo said the board will pass a resolution Wednesday asking Governor Romer to investigate the tactics used in this so-called raid. So Augustine Jaramillo seemed to not be in favor of it. Were there any Costilla County residents that was okay with stopping these motherfuckers with high-powered weapons and goddamn spotlights sniping little fucking bunny rabbits in the dead of the fucking night on top of burning houses down? There was apparently burning houses down back in 1989 too. So, my God, 1989, 1999, 2009. So for 4 fucking decades, you've been having this non-stop criminality, Costilla County. You're gonna wait for the state and the feds to come in? Is that what has to happen? So TulsaWorld.com. Fucking poachers. Motherfucking poachers. March 8th, 1989. Updated February 24, 2019. Poaching arrest of 57. On fire.